Welcome into Philadelphia 76ers now. I'm guest hosting Tom Downey, Chase Sr. at the Super Bowl covering the Eagles, kind of an important event. But if you want more 76ers trade rumors, maybe another video tomorrow morning, perhaps early in the day before the trade deadline starts really getting going, like today's video so we can show the bosses you still want more 76ers trade rumor updates. Hit that like button for me right now. The trade deadline is kind of 24 hours away, give or take, depending on when you're watching this video. We're going to hit all of the latest 76ers trade rumors for you guys, beginning with a trade target in Jarred Vanderbilt, who appears to be a very real candidate to end up in Philly once the trade deadline comes and goes. There are reports from Mark Stein, from Jake Fisher, from Keith Pompey, the Philadelphia Inquirer, that the Sixers are targeting Jarred Vanderbilt. Now, this makes some sense. They are clearly in the market, I would say almost maybe desperately, for a big man. And Vanderbilt, although he's only a 6'9" power forward, does fit that mold a little bit better than some of the other options at the four Philadelphia's been using. They also wouldn't mind some depth at the wing spot, and Vanderbilt can help out a little bit in that area, although I think with the way the Sixers roster is built, be a little bit more in the post in the end. Here's what Keith Pompey of the Inquirer reported. Multiple sources insist Utah Jazz post player Jarred Vanderbilt is a leading target in the Sixers' quest to fortify frontcourt depth behind all-star center Joel Embiid. The 6'9" Vanderbilt is a power forward, but has the ability to defend all three frontcourt spots. The Sixers are in the market for a wing, so Vanderbilt could check two boxes for them. He's actually been a pretty quality player so far this year for the Utah Jazz, knowing, of course, this is not a earth-shattering, league-altering type of move. Vanderbilt is putting up numbers that far exceed his previous career bests. His career best was last year with the Timberwolves, 6.9 points. The rebounds are actually a little bit lower at 8.4, but he's a rebounding 6'9" forward. Not the best three-point shooter, but a big uptick this year. He's not been any real three-point shooter before, at least doing a little bit of that this year, entering his career numbers, by the way. Basically half of what he's putting up this year from a pure volume perspective. The big man depth spot is a question mark. There's Montrezl Harrell, Paul Reed. It's not been the greatest grouping there. You've obviously got the three big studs, and four if we want to include Tobias Harris. But Embiid, Maxey, and James Harden have all been awesome this year for Philadelphia. Getting another rotational big man is a big focal point for Philadelphia, understandably so. Prediction time then. Will the 76ers end up trading for Jarred Vanderbilt? Y for yes, N for no. This will be the pinned comments on today's video. So if an ad break happens to come here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there, get those predictions in. Y for yes, N for no. Next up on our 76ers trade rumors, how about the return of Nerlens Noel? Mark Stein reports the Sixers and the Heat are among the top teams in the market for Noel, who appears to be a prime trade candidate from the Detroit Pistons, far more likely than Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks and Sadiq Bey. Noel, of course, began his career in Philadelphia, and wouldn't it be at least somewhat funny if he ended up back there in 2023? As we've mentioned, Sixers trying to find depth behind Embiid, and I think Noel could be a better option as just a pure big man over the likes of, Paul Reed. And Montrezl Harrell's had a very weird career in his NBA time. Noel has not played that much for the Pistons, just over 11 minutes per game. I would assume something somewhat similar in terms of the usage rate in Philadelphia if he ends up returning. But he does offer you some shot blocking, some defense, and for what you're looking for in a backup big man, Noel does fit that market, not what he was once maybe going to make in that long-term deal he kind of messed up. So of the two bigs, and I still kind of put Vanderbilt in the air quotes for a big, but he's not much of a shooter, so it's fine. Pick one to trade for. NN for Nerlens Noel, JV for Jarred Vanderbilt. Let me know right now in the comment section. Here are the numbers from this season only, knowing that Jarred Vanderbilt's putting up over double the minutes per game that Noel is. Assists, rebounds, points per game, field percentage, all in favor of Vanderbilt. Noel is averaging almost a block per game in a very small usage role, so the defense there is pure big men, does tend to favor Noel. His career path so far began with Philadelphia, goes to Dallas, the Thunder, the Knicks, and now a member of the Detroit Pistons. It would be funny if the sixth stint for Noel ends up being back where he began his career in Philadelphia. I think the trade cost, by the way, would be pretty affordable for the 76ers. Now, if you want to make some money, betting on the Super Bowl this year, do it BetUS. Chatsports.com/bet, promo code CHAT125. I know every Sixers fan watching will be glued in on this game because the Eagles, once again, back in it. Some prop bets. One prop bet I'm a big fan of, anytime touchdown. A lot of interesting odds. Travis Kelce's your favorite there, -155. I love betting on Kelce from that standpoint, but I don't mind Jalen Hurts and or Miles Sanders. Those are rushing touchdowns or receiving. Passing touchdowns don't count. That's why you don't see Mahomes super high up there. It's the who gets in the end zone, not who throws the pass there. A.J. Brown, look at that. 3 Eagles, by the way, with pretty interesting odds there. -105, -110, -125. And, of course, Philly is the favorites against the Chiefs. They're a 1-point favorite against Mahomes. Eagles have the best overall team, I believe, in the NFL this year. That's why they're there and took care of business fairly easily in the playoffs so far. If you want to bet on the Super Bowl, do with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. You can also bet, of course, on NBA games all season long. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code CHAT125. Let's go now to a very likely trade candidate, Matisse Thybulle. Of course, we spent a lot of time on Cork Mons before. We're focused on Thybulle today. He remains heavily linked in the trade rumors, and Mark Stein says there's a very real chance he's moved at the NBA trade deadline. If Matisse Thybulle could only develop a reliable jump shot, especially from 3, he'd be such a valuable player in that kind of P.J. Tucker mold, but it's just never materialized quite yet. And he's kind of fallen out of favor in the rotation. His 12.1 minutes per game this year, career low by a significant margin, 19.8 as a first-year player. If the Sixers make a move, be it trading trading someone away, we will have you covered right here. So hit that sub button, whether it's the black and white version, the red button, depending on which version of YouTube you're on. They've made some interface changes. Hit that sub button. Free videos on the 76ers. Perfect timing with the NBA trade deadline here. Here's what Mark Stein has reported. Sources say that Atlanta has joined Sacramento as a confirmed suitor for Philadelphia's Matisse Thybulle. I don't know that the Hawks will be the ultimate landing spot, but I've been advised that the prospect of Thybulle getting traded before Thursday's buzzer is very real. Matisse Thybulle simply has not developed the offensive element that they need out of him. Philadelphia needs out of him. He's never been much of a shooter. He's taking 1.3 three-pointers per game and continues to be a basically career 32 and roughly a half three-point shooter. It's just never developed or materialized into anything reliable that would make him a dynamic threat as a true 3-and-D player. He's a 3-and-D player in the end, minus the 3. How many trades do you think, in the end, could be multiple, quite frankly, that the Sixers will make before this year's NBA trade deadline? Get those predictions in for me in the comments section, and make sure you are subscribed to the Chat Sports YouTube channel. Myself, Will Scott, will be live for the entirety of the NBA trade deadline, leading up to it, the heart of it, and some post-coverage afterwards. Go over there. I'll put the link in the comments section in the description as well. Make sure you're subbed to Chat Sports and right here on 76ers Now.